Hi, I'm Amy Juras, and welcome to Anne Arundel County. I grew up in Northern Virginia, and we've been sailing here since I was 9 years old. When my husband and I met at a party, we were introduced. This is Amy. Amy wants to live in Annapolis. This is Mike. Mike lives in Annapolis. And the rest is what you call history. I think you can know a neighborhood in a lot of different ways. I happen to be a very active member of the community. I've been on the board of my community association. I've been president of a waterfront homeowners association. I've sung with the Annapolis Chorale. I have volunteered with schools, and I think that that's really the way to really understand and know a community. Besides being the mother of three and being active in their school endeavors, I also enjoy the 3 S's. That would be sailing, skiing, and singing. There's a lot to do in the Annapolis area. Besides being so close to Washington and Baltimore, all of the museums of Washington and the cultural things in the area, there's also horseback riding, there's skiing, sailing, swimming. Anything really your heart's desire is within a 50-mile radius of Annapolis. One of the most unusual things about Annapolis happens to be its diversity of neighborhoods. The different amenities, be it which neighborhoods have pools, which neighborhoods have water privileges, clubhouses, tennis courts, horseback riding. Every neighborhood has such a different feel, a demographic, and of course, price. The DC-Baltimore area happens to be a little bit lucky. We have the Fort Meade, we have Washington, D.C., and all of the government jobs. And although we have been hurt by the economy of recent times, it hasn't been as bad as other areas. So the housing prices have remained fairly robust, although it is very much a buyer's market at this time. Champion Realty is a small company of about 450 agents, and we're owned by Warren Buffett of Home Services Corporation. In my mind, that gives us the best of both worlds. We are a small company with local roots, yet we're owned by a huge company with lots of technology and lots of financial ability to help us in this trying time. One of the things that I'm most happy about is that the President, Vice President, they have an open door policy. And just the other day I was bemoaning the fact that I wanted to take an aerial picture of one of my waterfronts. And sure enough, the president of the company took me up in his airplane, flew me around Annapolis, where I took pictures of some of my friends' houses, some of the people I've done business with before, and of course, the listing that I was getting ready to list. I was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year as one of the top agents at Champion, and for that I'm very, very proud. I'm asked by some people what it is that I think I do best, and it has to do with motivation and negotiation. I was a headhunter for almost 19 years. I've been in real estate for many years, and what I'm very good at is figuring out what the motivation is of the sellers and the buyers, how to negotiate the best price for each, and how to make everybody at the end of the transaction feel really good about what has happened. Strangely enough, I was a psych major with a Spanish minor, and what I think that has done educationally for me is not only do I speak a fair amount of Spanish, but I also understand how people are motivated and how very personal their home search is. How is a house huntress different than a realtor? Well, the thing that I think I do best is the research. And when I go out and I meet with a client and I find out what they're looking for in a house, I don't just choose what's on the MLS. Oftentimes there's something that has come to my attention, there's something that's been on the market in the past, or in driving around somebody points to a house and says, oh my gosh, that's the house I want, and that's when I go and knock on their door and say, would you like to sell your house, sir? The thing that my children love and hate most about me is the fact that I know everyone in Annapolis. We cannot go into a restaurant, into a grocery store without somebody knowing me. And it's knowing those people that live in the area that can really help you out. I know the right builders, I know politicians, I know the people at Anne Arundel County, the permitting section. I'm not saying that I can get your permits pulled any faster, but I can get you to the right people faster. Having 3 children, a husband and a dog, and kids that are very active, I also know a lot about the community athletics in the area, the doctors, dentists, lawyers, and Indian chiefs. Oftentimes when somebody comes to this area, I'm the only person that they know, and it is my responsibility to get them into a house that they love in a neighborhood that they feel comfortable with, get them with all of the doctors and information that they have and that they need, pediatricians, veterinarians, etc. And I take that very seriously, and people ask me years later, Amy, do you know somebody who can? And usually, if I don't know them, I can find somebody who does. One of the things that I'm most proud of is the website development. I've spent a lot of time on it and care, trying to get you familiarized with the area and the different neighborhoods. If you look below, you'll see the neighborhood pages, and you'll be able to find out a lot about the different neighborhoods and find out, where do you fit in? What type of neighborhood do you want to live in? What kind of area do you want to live in? What kind of area can you afford? And those things are taken care of below on my neighborhood pages, and I welcome you to look into it and to call me and ask me more questions about each of the different neighborhoods. The waterfront hunt is one of the most difficult. It's difficult because the prices are high, and the amenities and views, the houses, the depths, the locations are so different from one another. So in order to figure out what a person likes or what a family needs, you really do have to see a lot of waterfront. Sometimes this hunt takes a long time, but it's worth it because you'll get at the end the house of your dreams. My favorite expression in real estate is, if you don't know where you're going, you'll probably get lost and eaten by a lion. That is my slogan, and I stand by it. If you don't know where you're going in real estate and you're not led in the right direction, you may get lost and not get what you want. The hunt is fun, the hunt sometimes is long, but the hunt is always worthwhile.